Welcome to our page. We are Sailing Solice. We have a dream to buy a yacht and sail the world. This is Chris. I'm Kelly. This is Olivia May. She's 3 years old. And this is Orla J. She's 1.5 years old. Travelling with us is our 9-month-old puppy, Oreo. The name Solice has been made up by Chris. Each letter is from one letter taken from each of our names, including my 2 older children that will not be coming with us, only for holidays. Me and Chris have been together for 8 years now. However, we were also childhood sweethearts, if that's what you call it. So 20 years ago, when I was 15 and Chris was 19, we were together. We only lasted around a year, then went our separate ways. 11 years later, we found each other again. We have been searching for the right boat for us for a while now. We have mainly looked in the UK. Back in August 2020, we went to Milford Haven to view a Beneteau Cyclades, which we put an offer in, but the buyer wasn't willing to move on the price. In hindsight, this was a good omen, as we didn't know that Orla was going to be making an appearance. However, at the start of May, we found a boat that fit everything we wanted, but she was in Croatia. So we booked flights and accommodation and set off to see her. She was everything we wanted. She is amazing. So we now have a signed contract on a Bavaria 39 cruiser. She is currently in charter, so we don't get her until October. Once we finally have her in our hands, so to speak, we will make a boat tour video for you all to see her. This is fine for us, as we have 2 houses that we need to sell, and one of them is in the process of having a renovation. The way we are going to be funding our dream is that just under 3 years ago, we started buying properties to do up and sell. To enable us to be able to save our deposit for our first property, we moved out of our rented house and moved in with my dad. This originally was just to save up, but he was terminally ill and needed us there more by the time we'd saved for our first house. Unfortunately, he passed away in October 2021, but we have stayed in his house as it has been my dad's house since before I was born. We bought our first house in November 2020 and got the keys in January 2021, just as we found out that I was also pregnant with Orla. We set to work straight away stripping walls and gutting the house. After some long days at the house working hard, we had finally finished and put the house on the market, and an offer was accepted 3 weeks later. We were unsure what we wanted to do next, as we were in no rush to buy the next property, especially as we had only just had Orla, and my dad was really unwell by now and was taking up so much time looking after, with a lot of help from family. Not that I would have had it any other way, and definitely wouldn't have changed it for the world. The next property just landed on our laps when we weren't looking and least expected it. It was a great house, and Chris put a really cheeky offer in, not expecting it to be accepted, but it was. We bought this property in September 2021 and completed on it in January 2022. Again, we set straight to work stripping and gutting the property, adding an ensuite. This property took a little longer than the first due to work commitments. However, we rented this one out in January 2023. We were now looking for our third property, one of which was up for auction and another we put an offer in but had to pull out due to nearby businesses restricting mortgages and resale values. By this time, we had also found a beautiful Beneteau in Sicily that Chris was in the process of going out to view. However, the man selling her was wanting things that we weren't happy to do. Whilst I was looking for another boat, Chris was now sitting at work looking at the property auction, and little did I know he was bidding on property number 3. However, when I have my heart set on something, I don't give up and carried on hunting for our dream boat. I found another boat in Southampton at Clipper Marine. The lovely Katie was amazing and really helpful. But the boat needed a fair bit of work doing to her, and between finding the things she needed for the right price and finding hard standing for her, we decided that she wasn't for us, much to my dismay. In May, we got the keys to the third property. This is now a work in progress, and we are hoping to have the property complete in the next 2 to 3 months and back on the market. Property number 2 is hopefully going up for auction in the next few weeks, as this has a quicker completion time than a traditional sale. I mentioned earlier that there were 5 of us. However, we will have a 6th member joining us. However, he is going to be taking a back seat in the sailing life and sitting on a shelf indoors keeping dry. This was his wish to come wherever we go and for us to scatter him wherever we visit. In October, we plan to move Solice, which will be her name, from Croatia to Montenegro until maybe February, whilst we ensure she is ready to set sail. And this also gives us a chance to sell our properties and all our other belongings and pack to leave. Our plan is to travel the world. We have a route mapped out, but anything could change between now and the time we set sail. Starting with a year in the Med, then back west to the Canaries to spend Christmas before heading down to Cape Verde at the end of the year, ready to cross the Atlantic to start our journey in the Caribbean. We may be a little quiet on here in the meantime, as we are unsure if anyone would be interested in us renovating our property and selling it, as predominantly this is a sailing channel, but we wanted to give you a look into our lives before boat life begins. Maybe leave us a comment and let us know if you would be interested in this for the time being or not. But we will update regular on Instagram, TikTok and our Facebook page. Give us a follow on there too. Thank you everyone for your support. It really means the world to us. Please like and subscribe to our channel. We are really looking forward to sharing our journey with you all.